By the end of this video, you will see my finished installed bathroom vanity, I promise. But first, I'm going to break down the first build of this vanity. I'll do a quick review of the mistakes I made in build 1 that I was able to correct in build 2, and I'll share with you the moment I thought my heart was going to fall into my chest. Thanks for being here today. I'm Esterina, and I make soft-spoken videos about woodworking, DIY, and slow living. In all my excitement with the vanity build, ADHD Esterina started building the carcasses for the pantry. That was my best move yet, because when those two boxes were built, it looked like two different people made the vanity versus the pantry. I didn't realize how important it is to trim off the factory edges. It made a huge difference in getting my edges to line up perfectly. Then I made all of the rip cuts under 24 inches at the same time. I know this is an obvious decision now, but Build 1.0 Esterina didn't understand that. I thought I was pulling a total MacGyver move here when I added my own fence to make a wider than 24-inch cut. It wasn't until after the build was complete and I was editing the footage that I clearly saw it was tilting my guide, thus tilting my blade. I realized that setup was not working for me, so I got the Craig adaptive cutting system and their accessories to cut wider than 25 inches. Let me tell you though, these extension tape measures are not accurate. I used them to set my piece pretty close and then even closer, measure by hand. So there's still human error. If you know of a better product, please mark it in the comment below that I can help make repeatable cuts over 25 inches. I started working smarter, not harder. I realized how important a large, flat surface is for accurate assembly. Also, putting all of the forward-facing pieces down, so any variance would be on the back side of the build. This made for a perfectly flat surface to evenly attach my face frames. Drawers are the bane of my existence, and it wasn't until I got to the very top drawer that I realized I made a critical mistake in this build. I cut the heights to 27.5 inches tall instead of 28.5 inches. I left myself an entire inch short for the spacing between the drawers. So here was my fix. Instead of using a 3/4 inch space, I used a 1/2 inch, the minimum recommended space for these Bloom tandem drawer slides. Luckily, I hadn't made the drawer fronts yet. So I thought I was bucking the cool kids that used Rubio monocoat to finish their projects, and instead I used Duraseal. It's what we used on the white oak beams in our kitchen. I loved the color and it matched all the tones in the tile for the bathroom. Well, it wasn't until it was way too late when I chatted with my woodworking teacher, I learned that I needed to add about 6 coats of General Finishes sealer on top of the stain with a hand sand at a very high grit between each coat. And that's what I needed to do to get the durable finish required on this build and in a bathroom. I was devastated, but I had done too much work to turn back now. I made the width of the total cabinet short. I wanted to add filler pieces to scribe on the right side, and the left side needed a 1/4 inch panel to wrap around to meet the other wall. In the last clip, I was trying to visualize what I wanted that corner to look like. I also purposefully made a design decision and have a 1/16 roundover on all the corners for a little shadow. My husband did not like this choice, but I didn't ask him for his opinion. Now I'm just trying to figure out how to do this glue up.
Do it wrong.
Yep, I put the quarter spacers on the wrong side of the panel for the offset I was looking for. Let's just walk away from this for a few minutes while I figure out how to do the drawer fronts. The face frames are made of white oak, but for the drawer fronts and door, I will be using this piece of 3/4 inch A4 white oak veneered plywood. The A4 means that it has one good side and one bad side. According to my calculations, the width of the sheet is the perfect amount to do all of the drawers and the door with the grain matching across. But this leaves no room for error, which is a bad thing for me. Here we are at cabinet install day. I was so nervous last night. I had wildly intrusive thoughts and a 2 a.m. panic attack that left me with very little quality sleep. I was hoping I did enough work for the installation to go smoothly and get the side panels on. Then I would finish the face frame to make it a perfect fit. The measurements for the countertops weren't going to happen for a few more days, so I had time. Luckily, the carcasses went in without a hitch, and the side panels were a beautiful fit. The drawers fitting on the slides and not rubbing the face frame was a problem for what I call tomorrow Esterina. Every video I've watched for face frames were put together in a cinch, usually by the snap of a finger and a ta-da! Well, I'm curious if that's how it really goes for them, because this is hard work. Trying to get the styles in alignment with a slight overhang is a big deal. Basically, from what research I've done, there are 3 ways to do this vanity, and I chose the most difficult one. I didn't know it was the most difficult one at the time, but I chose it because when looking at vanities online, this was the look I loved the most. Speaking of looking online, I never really shared my inspo photo, so I'll pop it up here for you. When it comes to inspiration, my philosophy is go big or go home. Don't get inspo at IKEA, but more like Restoration Hardware or whatever your dream furniture shop might be. For kitchens and vanities and me, it's Stouffer Home. This is their Woodward vanity, 51 inches, and it retails for $4,493. Now, you'll see in the end I made several tweaks, but that's what inspiration is for, giving you a direction, not a direct copy. This 51-inch vanity is very close to about the 52.5-inch one that I built in the 54-inch space I had. After several dry fittings, I realized this all needed to go in as a one piece. So back to the garage to make a few more pocket holes, screw together, and off we are for the official installation. I am finally finished with the frame and can get on to the drawer fronts. I have this idea to do the grain matching all the way across. And I almost cut from the wrong end to start. Luckily, I flipped it over and got that first cut in the right spot. So this cut will make the 4 left side drawers, then 1 big door in the middle, and finally the 4 drawers on the right. My designer recommended I go with 2 smaller doors because it's pretty large, but I went with 1. It's kind of like a refrigerator with 2 doors. I'm always opening the wrong side and have to open both anyway. It's not so massive that I'm worried about the door breaking or warping either. I cut the rest of the doors off camera, and now I'm ready to do the edge banding so we don't see the plywood layers. I started all of them from the corner you see the least, the bottom right corner. I learned this little trick from Natalie from Park Place Abode. You can find her over on that other platform that starts with an I. She recommends wetting the corner piece so that the edge banding becomes a bit more pliable, then wrapping it around the corner. It should still have a little snap, but it won't be brittle and break. Go check her out if you have that app. I'll leave her page in the description. She has been incredibly helpful and is so kind. Another fun detail I'm adding that came from Natalie is doing this little 1/16 inch roundover on the edges. It makes for a really smooth feel to the hands, and it's all in the details. Am I right? So I already mentioned that I chose a very difficult route with the finish. From the time of this recording until now, it's already been a couple of weeks, and I think my hands still hurt from holding that sandpaper. This was not my favorite Craig jig to work with, so if I ever do drawers again, I will be testing out a new jig. Have you heard of the creative process? It starts with, "This is awesome," and moves on to, "This is crap and I am crap." I love how Sam, the DIY huntress, put it in her live slab sliding door video. I'll put the link in the description. But I've passed the steps of "This is awesome," and I am deep into the questioning all of my life choices phase. I don't typically do long builds like this for a lot of reasons. The math is really complicated and it physically hurts my head. My ADHD brain loses interest, things get hard, and I just want to quit. Maybe you know what that feels like too. Luckily, I have an engineer for a husband and can help me when the math is above my pay grade. So luckily, this learning curve is happening in my own house, and when things get too hard or feel too heavy, I can just walk away and start back at it with fresh eyes tomorrow. Life for sure feels like this diagram put out the "We Think Deeply" over on that other platform. I'm for sure in the more struggling zone. Check it out. Based on that reaction, I am momentarily back in the "this is awesome" phase. But that quickly flipped into the "this is tricky." I found a remnant piece at the fabricator's yard. I was able to save a lot of money on the slab, but on the downside, it's porcelain. So it took longer to fabricate, and the install is a delicate process. And here we are. At the moment, my heart felt like it was going to fall out of my chest. They are cutting a hole for our undermount sink, and I was so afraid they were going to cut the screws holding the whole piece together. I mean, I know the Vanity isn't going anywhere, but I was so careful to measure and select a sink that would fit in the size carcass I built. Luckily, it was a perfect fit, but there was about 3 minutes there where I was figuratively breathing into a paper bag. My daughter quickly claimed the bathroom as soon as the tile and plumbing was complete. I was the second person allowed to use her toilet, and she was so proud to show me how it flushes. She's such a tiny human with her own hair accessories and jewelry. I let her pick whichever soap pump she wanted, and this is what she chose. A cute, sleeping baby deer. When did I first know this was all worth it? It was during a FaceTime chat with the grandmas, and my daughter was showing her the bathroom and said, "Look at this! My mom made this. She built this whole thing, and look how awesome my stuff looks inside. It's so perfect, and it's all mine." Those were happy tears rolling down my face. So yeah, I think it was all worth it. And next time will be better and easier. Hang on, wait, did I just agree to do this again? Well, after a long rest, we'll see what's next for me. I'm not marketing myself to build custom vanities. If anyone asks, I'll send them to this video and be like, "Do you really want me? Are you sure?" Maybe one day, but for now I need to get to work on my pantry. If you liked this custom build, keep your eyes peeled for the next one, where I'm also adding in floating shelves. Thanks for watching, and do something brave.